Greetings, fellow Golgari drinkers. My name is the Tireless Rocker. If you love fair, interactive mid-range magic, you came to the right place. I'm going to release 2 videos every Friday morning. Please like this video and subscribe. It will kind of make my day. Here we go. So, in today's video, we're going to be looking at the top 3 cards that I think would be a good addition to the Golgari Midrange deck in Modern. And I'm going to be looking at how these cards line up to the top decks in the Modern metagame as well as how it fits in with the other cards in our deck. So let's start with Castle Lochtoin. So, it is a land that enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a swamp. So, the pro is you pay 2 black, 1 colorless, tap it, so that's 4 mana total. So you can do this in turn 4 earliest. Draw a card, lose a life equal to the number of cards in your hand. So basically, you would usually do this when you have nothing else to do. So it's going to be pay 1, draw a card. Because if you have 4 mana, you're probably going to be playing that last spell anyways, most of the time. So let's take a look at a few of these things here. Let's take a look at our deck list. So this is from Grimflare MTG. So how often will Castle come in untapped? So we have 3 swamps. We can get swamps with 4 verdant catacombs, that's 7, and 2 overgrown tomb, that's 9. So we have a pretty high chance, of it coming untapped. Anyways, let's go over some of the pros and cons. So I feel that I would never play more than 1 of this card in the deck, because having 2 would be horrible. You would almost, pretty much never, I can say safely, have 8 mana and activate this twice. Because even if you have 8 mana, which is pretty much never going to be the case in Modern, you're going to be activating this, and then you're going to be casting that, whatever you draw, right? Unless it's a land, but pretty much never play 2 in my opinion. And in Modern, we have so many cards to choose from. I feel there will always be something else better to fit in this slot. So this serves as flood protection, very similar to Nurturing Peatland, but this one doesn't Stone Rain us. So I feel this is great because we have, let's take a look at our rock deck here. It's all the way at the bottom. And this is Grimflare's list. We have a lot of mana sinks. Hexdrinker as a mana sink. We have Treetop Village as a mana sink. Hissing Quagmire as a mana sink. And we have some high 4-drops now, like Questing Beast, Kalidas. So that's why I think it's nice to not have to sacrifice a land to draw a card like Peatland. So let's look at the meta. I feel that Castle is a bit slow against Burn. It's great in Jund and Rock Mirrors, Abzan Mirrors, also Control, because these matchups are slow and we're going to have the time to be able to activate Castle before we die. Also, it's actually pretty decent against Ugin, in my opinion, in Tron. The reason is, you see their -X can board wipe us, and usually we end up just having nothing else to play because we play out our hand, and then we try to finish them, but they kill us with Ugin before we get to finish them. So this would be pretty great because we get to draw a card and then draw another card and then maybe hopefully draw some trophies and ways to pressure them and finish the game, such as, Questing Beast with haste. We'll talk about that later. Also, I like how you can activate this at instant speed. So in a mid-range mirror, let's say maybe your opponent has like this card. you can activate this at the end step so they can't get whatever card. They can take whatever card we get. I also find this is pretty good with the new Stoneforge Mystic unban, because it allows, it's a pretty, there's more grindy matchups. That's pretty much, they don't aggro us out, so there'll be time to use Castle and draw into more useful cards. Also, in Eldrazi Tron, I think that this could be kind of interesting to play around if Thought-Knot Seer. So it enters the battlefield, maybe we have no cards, and they just cast us anyways, and then we activate the land, and we get to prevent Thought-Knot from taking a card from us, and we get to draw another card when Thought-Knot dies. So that's pretty good. All right. So I'm going to rate this card, I would say around 8.3. I like it quite a bit, but if the meta changes to very turn 2, turn 3, because Castle you can't use until turn 4, and it might come in tap sometimes, the rating might go down. But because we're in kind of a Stoneblade Jund era right now, where the matchup is kind of slow, I would say Castle is pretty well positioned in the modern meta game. So now let's move on to the second card, Questing Beast. So this is 2 green, 2 generic mana for legendary creature Beast, as Vigilance, Death Touch, and Haste. Questing Beast can't be blocked by creature with power 2 or less. Combat damage that would be prevented by creatures you control can't be prevented. Whenever Questing Beast deals damage, combat damage to an opponent, and deals that much damage to target planeswalker that player controls. Alright, so let's talk about this card. First of all, it's a legendary, so I, again, would never play more than 1, because in Modern we have enough card choices that we almost never need to play 2 legendary creatures, and that's my own opinion. So let's start off by looking at the metagame. I feel that it's not too good against Burn because it is a bit slow and Burn can be a turn 3 kill. But if we do make it to turn 4 and their creatures are still relevant, it's a great blocker. Also, we can pressure their life total due to the Vigilance while blocking. So that's good, but I would think it's not that great just because we have all that removal. Maybe by that point in the game, we're just hoping they might just burn us to the face, right? So it's mediocre against burn. So I feel this card, the best part of this card is dealing damage to the planeswalker. So anytime you see any planeswalker decks, you can bring it in. So for example, any midrange mirror, Jund, Liliana, Renin 6. Hit them for 4 and kill the Renin 6 or in Liliana. That's 8 damage. We can hit their rock. Get the rock. Get Abzan. So, and also, this is new for our archetype, as Grimflayer mentioned, haste. So we can actually make a difference the moment it comes in. So we can hit their planeswalkers down before. Back then we would get locked out by Lilianas, right? Because we cast a creature and they just edict. So this haste is pretty important. It's great against blue-white control. Let's take a look at. See, they have so many planeswalkers. Let's look at some other decks that have planeswalkers. So Tron is great against Tron because if we can imagine they're Ugin, right? We can hit them for 4 and take care of all these planeswalkers. That is pretty great. And there's also Eldrazi Tron. Let's take a look at Eldrazi Tron here. Yeah, Eldrazi Tron also has planeswalkers. And they can't outsize these big creatures, Questing Beasts, because it's 4/4, but at least we can trade with it. So against Titan Shift, what I notice is a lot of the times They can just chump block and sack, but they can't block with Tribe Elder, so that's pretty good. We pressure their life total quick before they get to um, kill us. They're okay, and then now against Dredge, this is where the vigilance is very key because they can't block. I mean, it's a great blocker for all their creatures except for Necromoeba. But this is amazing because we get to pressure their life total, and they don't really have too many good blockers. They have to have 2 prize amalgams, and that is a problem because they lose 2 prize amalgams. Well, they could get it back, but what I'm saying is that's still that's the worst case scenario, and the chances of them having 2 prize amalgam is kind of low. They might just have 1, and then later we can just attack, have a very good attack, and have a very good block. So it's going to be very useful on both battle phases. All right, let's move on to the last card that I think would be great for the rock. First, rating of Questing Beast. I'm going to give it a little lower score just because we have other grindy cards. I mean, let's look at this. Pretty much in most matchups where Nissa Vital Force is good in, Questing Beast is good. So it's not a new tool that we had. I'm giving Castle a higher score because it's a brand new tool. It's a flood prevention that isn't a stone rain for us, so it allows us to play a higher curve. But Vital Force is kind of already Questing Beast, and I still can't really decide if Questing Beast is that much better than Vital Force because Planeswalkers are a little harder to remove for most decks. Questing Beast can get pathed, and that's the main thing, you know. And also Vital Force, if you -6, you can -6 it pretty quickly. Even if you know opponent can remove it soon with a pulse or a detention sphere, you know, it's fine, you know, because you already got your value. You can get your value more easily, and also with the return permanent card. In the grindy matchup, you're gonna have a lot of permanents that it's kind of a toolbox effect. You know, you get the best in that situation. So I'm Questing Beast. If we didn't already have an alternative, I would give it a higher score in a vacuum. But in the current, due to what we already have, and it's fighting for, you know, kind of a spot that Nissa is already taking up, I'm gonna give it a 8. So now let's go to the last card, which is Murderous Rider. 2 black, 1 generic. Creature Zombie Knight. It's based on the new adventure card design. You can destroy a target creature or planeswalkers, and you lose 2 life. So what you do is you can just cast the creature part, and you won't get the Swift End part. But if you want 2 cards value in 1, you can cast Swift End first, and then cast Murderous Rider from exile. Okay? Let's talk about Murderous Rider. I find Murderous Rider to be extremely versatile, and I really like that in a format such as Modern, where there's so many decks, and you don't want cards that are just dead in your hand, right? Look at how many decks there are. So let's look at the ceiling. The ceiling is very good against Planeswalker decks, because not only do we just kill a Planeswalker, we also get a body after. And in the deck that plays Planeswalkers in a matchup, you will be alive the turn following to be able to cast this. Okay? Put it at the bottom of the library. It's kind of a non-bow with ooze, but I think the pros outweigh the cons of that. It's also pretty good against burn. Losing the 2 life is not good, and But against a lot of aggro decks, having that life linker is going to be great. 2/3, you can block a Goblin Guide. You can block Eidolon very nicely. And you can attack, gain 2 life. The 2 life is going to be amazing. And I think we can utilize this card the most because we're only green-black compared to the 3 color variations of GBX midrange, such as Jund and Abzan. Because we have the most consistent mana base. Same with Questing Beast. We can utilize this better than Jund. Same with this one because, again, it's 2 black. So it looks like Wizard's trying to push us towards playing less colors, maybe. And this is good for us. I think these are great cards for our deck, for Rock. Okay. So now, let's look at why I also think this is so versatile. Because almost every deck plays creatures or planeswalkers. So let's look at the top metagame. Burn, yep, a lot of creatures. Jund, yeah, they play a lot of high value permanents. Tron, yep, see a lot of creatures to kill. And a lot of planeswalkers, so many targets. Creatures, planeswalkers. Even in blue-white control, the traditional blue-white control, where we used to take out the fatal pushes, right? Because pushing a Snapcaster, destroying a Snapcaster is not that important. But killing a Teferi or Jace, ooh, that's going to be really nice. And losing the 2 life won't matter at all. And that's a fair price to pay. Because we can have lifelink after, right? I also think lifelink is great to get a little bit more life gain for a Confidant. And finally, if there's no target at the time, you still have a 2/3 lifelinker is always going to be useful. It's a clock, first of all. You want to end the game in Magic. And also, the lifelink, yeah, some people say your life doesn't matter in Modern. Yeah, in a lot of decks it doesn't. But in a deck where we're playing Confidants and Peatland, yeah, I think it will allow us to support maybe even 2 Confidants on the battlefield at the same time. Especially in games that are where they're not pressuring our life total that much. And that would be great. Drawing 3 cards a turn, that can really bury our opponent or give us answers to opponent's game plan. So I also feel this is a great card for holding up against Ugin. We can just wait till they cast their Ugin. They wipe our board. We instant adventure it. The following turn, we can cast this right away, rebuild our board. That's going to be pretty good. I'll let you guys take a look at Ugin again. Okay. 4-color Urza. So we can use the effect to kill these high-value permanents and that 0/0 construct artifact creature, which can get really big. So that's pretty good. And against Eldrazi-tron, we can kill any of their big creatures, right? And that's pretty good. And they're kind of aggressive, so that lifelink is a little bit relevant. Against Grixis Death Shadow, at the moment, our fatal pushes can't hit Gurmag's Street Wraith and Transform Jace. So this is very versatile. That allows us to hit all those. And then we get another card, right? So I'm going to give Murderous Rider 8.7, actually. I think this is the best card. And this is recorded before release. This is September 24. So I'm going to do a lot of testing. And in the future, I'm going to make a follow-up video and kind of go over this video and update the ratings and after I play a bunch of matches. And in terms of what I'm going to adding this to my deck, I'm going to make a new deck tag video for post Throne of Eldraine deck list. But let me just give you guys a little sneak peek at what this is my script that I'm gonna do for you guys. Anyways, I've been working on this morning, and I'm going to be putting one Murderous Rider in the main board because of how versatile it is. I lean towards having very versatile cards in the main board. I don't like any cards that might be dead in any matchup in the main board usually. So I love Murderous Rider because it's always going to do something in any matchup. And I think I'm going to add one to the sideboard as well. Questing Beast, I'm going to add one to the main board. And I'm going to add one Castle Lock Twain. So just a preview. This is my current deck list for episode 22 and below. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to make another video on this later again, but I'm most likely going to take out one Lily the Last Hope because the X1 creatures are kind of on the down tick right now due to Ren and 6. And I'm going to put in Questing Beast in this slot. And then I'm going to take out Kalidas and put it in the sideboard because the graveyard, the exile creature opponent controls, the replacement effect is less relevant due to the banning of Faithless Looting. And in here, I'm going to put in the Knight. So I should say Questing Beast because in this, and the Knight instead of the Last Hope. And then I'm going to take out one land for Castle. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be a Treetop. But I'm still deciding. I'm going to make a deck tag later for that. And I'm going to take out one card for Murderous Rider. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be Duress or Abrupt Decay. But stay tuned. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I'm very excited for the new set. I'm going to buy the cards right when it comes out and record a lot of good content for you guys. And I'm going to promise to upload at least 2 videos every Friday morning. Please like and subscribe. This is a Tireless Rocker. Here we go to bed.